The video here is analysis of the planning and DA process for Central Park. The first stage of the redevelopment is the tower called One Central Park, a 117-meter tall residential building located opposite the UTS Tower. Central Park is a major mixed-use urban renewal project in Sydney, 400 meters from the Central Railway Station. It is the tallest building on the site with high environmental rating. A major new park and a multi-level shopping center now had completed. In the early stage of DA process, the developer has to decide what type of work they want to do. The LEP described the existing zoning of the site as a city edge zone. While the city edge zone was an unrestricted mixed-use zone, with all uses permissible with consent, the Australand Limited proposed to have a mixed-use project including residential, commercial, and retail. Before the developer moved to next step, they have to know is the proposal an exempt development. If it is, then no approval required anymore. And Central Park is neither an exempt development and compliant development, so it should go to the step 2 of DA process. Draft design. In the New South Wales, all the projects over $50 million must come into a design competition program. A series of legislations and guidelines such as LEP, DCP, State Environmental Planning Policies, and Australia Building Code will control the design strategy until the finalization of the draft. However, the fact is the site had not been rezoned by City of Sydney Council at the moment. In June 2004, City of Sydney Council and Central Sydney Planning Committee resolved to inform the owner and developer that a Stage 1 DA should not be launched until the site had been rezoned. For a typical DA process, normally developer will prepare a draft design, consult local council, finalize the design, and launch to council. Then the proposal will be approved or it is refused. The developer could request the council to review the proposal or appeal the decision in the court. In this case, the Minister for Planning used his power under Part 3A of the EP&A Act to call in this development proposal. From this stage, the site was controlled by the Minister. On the other hand, the proposal was not wholly prohibited by current planning controls. It could be approved by the Minister without the need for rezoning the land and without having to comply with existing restrictions. In determining a development application, a concerned authority is to take into consideration of the public interest. A number of documentation such as the Environmental Assessment Report, State Significant Site Study, Concept Plan, and the Modified Concept Plan were displayed in 2 exhibitions in 2006 and 2008. The Modified Concept Plan was approved by the Minister in February 2009. The project would create drilling for approximately 2,500 new residents and workspace for 5,400 workers. Up to 1,200 construction jobs would be created. Up to this stage, the DA process was completed. For the planning process of Central Park, on July 3, 2003, the Central Sydney Planning Committee resolved to prepare new planning controls for the site through a new site-specific LEP. In December 2003, City of Sydney Council stimulated the maximum floor space ratio, site coverage, and setback requirement. In September of 2005, the Council published the new draft LEP and DCP with redefined floor space ratio requirement. On July 21, 2006, the Minister for Planning declared approvals under Part 3A provisions of the EP&A Act 1979. The Minister removed all control from local council and other stakeholders. Based on the perspective of developers' view, planning requirement had been made and ordered by one authority could somehow maximize the value of the site, achieve the complexity of the project. It will reduce the regular delays and risks caused by some uncontrollable factors. It could also break down the rules of existing LEP and DCP. Stand at the perspective of developers' view. 4 recommendations will be made in regarding the planning and DA process. Firstly, Council may provide more chances for developer to cooperate in the early planning stage. Secondly, the calling of the minister could be earlier in the DA process to avoid the losses of any benefits. Thirdly, consider more opinions of local council and developer when the minister takes control of the site. Finally, keep balance between communities' opinions and the quality of the design. For example, introduce some successful precedents to local communities in the consultation.